I've been looking through the news in the build-up to the Euro 2024 final on Sunday, and I stumbled across this interesting article on the BBC. So shout out to Dan Roan, the sports editor of the BBC, who has basically put an article out saying that, well, it goes over an interview that he's had with Gareth Southgate, the England manager, saying that reaching the Euros final feels normal for him, and that he's also felt less satisfaction making it through to the final of Euro 2024 than he did 3 years ago at Euro 2020. Of course, Euro 2020 taking place in 21. Just to clear up any confusion there if you weren't aware about it. But it's quite an interesting take, actually. Let me just go through the quote from what Southgate said here. He said, and I quote, "There's a different feel than in 2021. We're now in a different moment as a team. 2 tournaments on and a lot of more match experience. I guess there was far less of a celebration, perhaps less satisfaction at reaching a final. I mean, they had me fooled. They were definitely celebrating after that game, especially the way we won it, especially so late on, you know." He also said, "I guess there was less of a celebration, perhaps less satisfaction from reaching a final. I would say it becomes a run-of-the-mill, but it's a little bit more normal for us." That statement in itself is probably a bit ridiculous given our history, and it's true. It's absolutely true. You can look at the stats, and they definitely tell a story of Southgate getting more out of an England squad than arguably any other manager before. And I include Alf Ramsey in that just because from the fact that England have made 2 finals under Southgate now. Now, of course, Sir Alf's achievements are bigger than Southgate's. He's the only manager to have won a major tournament with the England senior team. The England's men's senior team, I should say, as well, because obviously the women won the Euros a few years back. Good on them for doing that. And hopefully the men can replicate it again on Sunday too. But yeah, I kind of get what he's saying. And surprisingly, he's not come out and talked about the negativity around the side and everything. And now I'm not going to have a go at the fans, because I have absolutely been one of them in this as well. I have definitely been critical of Southgate and his tactics through this tournament. You go back and watch my videos, it's all there, it's all recorded. I can't hide from that, and I won't hide from that, because the performances earlier on in the tournament just weren't good enough. They just weren't, for the most part. We got lucky against Serbia. We were lacklustre against Denmark. We were totally lacklustre against Slovenia. Against Slovakia, we were terrible for about 80 minutes, 85 minutes or so. And since then, England have woken up, and they've been better for sure. And the performance against the Netherlands in the semi-final, that really showed what we could do. That really shows what we can do, because we played really well through that game throughout, and it was a great match between 2 great teams. So, and now you might say, there is a school of thought that says that, Southgate was resting legs relatively, taking it easy early in the tournament, building momentum, rather than going too quick too early, tiring everybody out, and producing our best football against Slovakia, rather than in an actual, fully important match against, in the semi-finals against the Netherlands or something. Not that the match against Slovakia was not important, but what I mean is that we didn't have to be at our best to beat Slovakia. We had to be at our best to beat the Netherlands, though, and the same with Switzerland too. But yeah, it's definitely interesting what he's saying, and people's opinions have flipped on Southgate like a switch recently, and I do understand it from the perspective that we perform really well against the Netherlands, so now everything's all right and we're in a final. And now it's at a point where it's like, we don't care how we win. We could play 90, 120 minutes of the most absolutely terrible football against Spain, but if we win, he's a national hero. But if we lose, I dread to think what people are going to be saying. But I tell you what, they're not failures. They are absolutely not failures, whatever you say about these guys, right? They've done incredibly well to get to where they are. They absolutely have. Despite the easy side of the draw and all this and that, doesn't matter. They made it, all right? They got in that position because they won the group. Only just, but they still won it. And they deserve to reap the rewards from it. And one of those rewards is an easier draw on the easier side of the competition. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, is Southgate going to stay on? Well, that's a topic for another video that I will get into another time. But for what it's worth, I think if he wins the tournament, I think there's a real chance he'll stay on. I did say before this tournament, come what may, I think he's going to step down. But I think if he wins it, I think he'll stay on. But guys, what do you think? Is this becoming run of the mill for England? Is this satisfactory for him? Is this going to be something positive for him at the end of the day? Is it something that is kind of the shine's kind of been taken off it so far a little bit because of the reaction in the media and social media and everything like that? Let us know in the comments below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And of course, subscribe to thefootballchronicle.com for much more content on the Euros just like this.